Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. My name is Vineet. As per information released by the Baloch Yakjehti Committee, 6 Balochis who were victims of forced disappearance. This includes Abdul Lateef, who was abducted on the 5th of May 2025 and released on the 12th of May in Danuk, Turbat. Abdul Basit, who was abducted on the 26th of April and released on the 14th of May in Mastung. Abdul Zahir, abducted on the 25th of April 2025 and released on the 14th of May in Dabandin, Balach, who was abducted on the 14th of May and released 2 days later on the 16th of May in Pasni, and Maqsood Ahmed, who was released after a span of 4 days in Chaghi. Alright, let's talk about this. This is obviously a campaign that Newsx has talked about in the past as well. We'll discuss this with some prominent figures. Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goyal, former diplomat, with me in the broadcast. Dr. Suvro Kamal Datta, acclaimed international conservative expert, with me in the studio. Mr. Ahmed Mustakhan, senior journalist from Balochistan, will also be joining us momentarily. Ambassador Goyal, I'll begin with you. Sir, first up, let me pick your brains on what's happening in Balochistan. Do you think that with all the commotion that has been created between India and Pakistan after Pahalgam, Operation Sindoor, the ceasefire, and you know the chronology, sir, there is this palpable momentum to free Balochistan from the clutches of Pakistan, and that is something extraordinary which we haven't seen in the past, sir. And do you think will there ever be a diplomatic solution to this, or do you think it will be something which is replete in bloodshed?
Vineet, two things here. First of all, the movement in Balochistan for independence is real and very strong, as we all know it, in terms of the reports coming from Balochistan, in terms of what we keep on hearing on different networks. It is real, it is very, very strong. How it is going to turn out is something which is very difficult to say, because if I look at the reactions or the views from abroad, particularly the countries in the United Nations and the countries abroad, which matter in terms of their international influence, there are very few, surprisingly, and maybe not so surprisingly really, who have added their voice to the movement, or who have actually encouraged the movement to basically, or provided support to the movement. However, knowing the history of Balochistan, I do think that there is a lot of merit in the demand for a free state. If you see the Raja of Kalat, who actually wanted to maintain Balochistan as an independent country at that time, but was really cheated out of his plans and what he had in mind by the British and by the Pakistanis, including Muhammad Jinnah at that time, who were assured him of conversations, etc., etc. But eventually, when he came to the table, he was done out of what he wanted as an independent Balochistan. I think there is a lot of merit in demand for an independent Balochistan, and that demand should be considered with, I would say, an element of sympathy and an element of understanding, and at least what Pakistan is called the moral support. I think we should at least give moral support and political support to the idea. Vineet.
Absolutely right. Mr. Ahmed Mustakhan, senior journalist, is also joining us on the program. Mr. Mustakhan, are you there with us, sir? Mr. Ahmed Mustakhan, are you there with us, sir? Okay, there seems to be a connection. Let me get a response from Dr. S.K. Datta as well, who's with me in the studio. Dr. Datta, you've seen, our previous coverage of how Balochistan blew up on social media. In fact, it became an international phenomenon. I was fortunate enough, to speak to some of the gentlemen who were part of that conversation and who told us why exactly Pakistan is not letting go of Balochistan, because of all its resources and its minerals. So it's been using, exploiting, extricating wealth out of Balochistan, but investing zero in it. It is still a place which looks third world. It's a barren land which is bereft of any development, any modernization and any kind of democracy?
Yes, absolutely, Vinit. I remember I had done a show with you on Balochistan a couple of days back. I understand that the agony of Balochistan and the history of Balochistan is basically it is blooded in a lot of bloodshed history, and it's really sad. What I understand is like in 1948-49, if our second nominated prime minister of our country, Pandit Nehru, would have taken a call on this, then perhaps Balochistan would not have faced what
Did you
it
say
has
nominated prime minister?
Yes, because I consider Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose to be the first prime minister of Azad Hind. So in my understanding, Pandit Nehru was the second nominated one, and he won only with his single vote. We know the history. So like if Pandit Nehru would have taken a call in relation to Balochistan, the Nawab of Kalat actually wanted the Indian government to take a call on this. If Pandit Nehru would have been foresighted enough, then perhaps Balochistan would not have faced this kind of blooded history like the way it has been facing since 1948-49 onwards. I do understand that practically Balochistan is more or less independent now. Socially, culturally, it was never a part of Pakistan. Cultural edifice of Balochistan is completely different from the Wahhabi Islam which is projected and propagated by Lahore and by Punjabi Pakistan. So it's completely different. What is needed is the political recognition of that, and I think time has come for the government of India to take a call on this and should officially declare the independence of Balochistan, and India should consider Balochistan to be an independent country. And I think we should move ahead, and we should also take a call in relation to establishing diplomatic relationship with the with the government in exile of Balochistan, and perhaps we should also allow them to open up an embassy here in India. And whenever the situation becomes idle, then perhaps in Quetta in Balochistan also. Secondly, is like as in relation to the Western countries, we cannot expect much from them as of now, because United States of America has its own interest in relation to Pakistan. So does China, and Russia, in my understanding, would keep a neutrality as of now. But then the way things are unfolding, I think it's not very far off when a final solution in relation to Balochistan will be arrived at. Presently, the scenario in Balochistan is exactly similar to the situation in 1970 and 1969 in East Pakistan, which later on became Bangladesh after the 71 war. And I think it's a cursor to that direction. And the the cultural, the social, and the economic balkanization of Pakistan is complete now. Only the political balkanization, it's a matter of time. We are also seeing that the demand for Sindhu Pradesh or Sindhu Desh is also coming up in a big way, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is more or less out of the hands of the Pakistan government. So what I understand is like we should make our position very, very clear. First and foremost, take back POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, and perhaps we should actually help out the independence movement in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan as well as in Sindhu Desh.
Okay, we have some breaking news also to talk about. As per information released by the Baloch Yakjehti Committee, 45-year-old Mahara Khan Mari had been abducted on the 13th of May 2025 at around 12 p.m. from Bhagio Barkhan. She is a labourer by profession and the daughter of Meeta Khan Mari, is what we're learning at this point in time. Ahmed Mustakhan, journalist, is joining us on the program. Mr. Mustakhan, I hope you can hear me, sir. Sir, can you hear me now? I can hear you, sir. Mr. Mustakhan, I can hear you. Go on, sir. All right, there seems to be a problem with that network over there. Let me rope in Dr. Datta once again into this conversation. Dr. Datta, a quick response. These disappearances that are happening of prominent personalities from Balochistan, this is obviously going to be attributed to Pakistan. Do you think that the Pakistani hardline stance towards Balochistan is going to intensify, after these, altercations and this episode between India and Pakistan?
Yes, I'm sure, because Pakistan would try its level best to bulldoze the independence movement in Balochistan, and it would actually use in a crude, brutal force to bulldoze the movement. But what I understand is like the ways the situation has unfolded in Balochistan, and almost 80-90% area of Balochistan is actually out of the Pakistan army and the ISI of Pakistan. So I think it's just a matter of time, because like when Balochistan will finally secede from Pakistan. And in my understanding, like Pakistan doesn't have any other option right now except for accepting the glaring reality, and sooner or later the the final nail in the coffin will be done in Balochistan. And I think Pakistan sooner or later will have to accept that reality, that Balochistan is no longer a part of Pakistan. Yes, prior to that, like the way Pakistan had behaved in East Bengal or in Bangladesh with a complete ethnic genocide, similar kind of thing Pakistan would try this time, might be a kind of a mass genocide in Balochistan. They have been doing this from 1948 onwards, and I think now this would be in a much more wider scale. But what I understand is like situation has the way it has unfolded, I think for Pakistan to keep in Balochistan under a tight grip is next to impossible now.
All right, more breaking news coming in. We're going to get Dr. I beg your pardon, Ambassador Goel to respond to it. On the call of the Baloch Yakjehti Committee, a protest rally was held in Mastung, where participants raised their voices against the escalating wave of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances across Balochistan. Protesters also demanded the immediate release of Dr. Maharang Baloch and other unlawfully detained leaders of BYC. The rally reaffirmed the growing grassroots resistance against systematic state repression, asserting that the struggle for justice and dignity will not be silenced. Ambassador Goel, the fact of the matter is that, the injustice which is happening around the world is being reported by the Western media, very selectively. If you talk about Gaza, if you talk about other places, the Western media has been very, very biased, but something similar, something worse has been transpiring in Balochistan since 1948. But the Western media has looked the other way. You think it's India's responsibility to apprise them of this evil and this sinister mechanism which has been orchestrated by the ISI and the Pakistan army in this state?
Beneath, I'm going to basically now go from a political point of view on this issue here. Yes, you're right. At least till about 5 years ago, there were very few reports in the international media which appeared on the Balochistan issue. But over the last few years, at least if I recall correctly, 1 year, sporadically, but once in a while, I have seen reports in the New York Times and the Washington Post about what is happening in Balochistan. Not exactly a politically supporting kind of a report, but a report giving details of what is happening in Balochistan, and also the fact about the Balochistan Liberation Army, their demand for independence and so forth. All that has come into selected reports in the international media. Coming to the support from the Western powers, I think we should know by now what the Western global order is all about. As you see what they do and what they've done in Ukraine, or what is happening in Gaza, they would expect the entire world to come and support them in their own idea of what the international order should be like. And I think our EM Deshankar was quite right in saying that Europe is not our problem. Ukraine is not our problem. Ukraine is European problem, and they need to sort it out basically. And he was quite right also in terms of the international relations, because we all know Ukraine is the problem created by the European security architecture, which was so totally dependent on the USA that they could not create their own order. So therefore, it was either the Soviet Union, Russian Federation, or the USA. So it was their problem. And now they're trying to create their own security architecture. but that is going to take a long time. Europe, the Western countries have no interest in what happens in Asia, what happens in Myanmar, what happens in Middle East. Look at Gaza, what is happening there. I mean, besides just the lip service, has anybody tried to really get aid through to the Palestinians in Gaza? You look at the visuals, they're heart-rending really. People suffering and fighting for a morsel of food. No, therefore, I don't think we should expect anything from the Western countries. What we should do, India, is that we should now basically, and there's one more factor, China. I think China was mentioned. And if we know what Chinese CPEC is all about, we know what Chinese stand is going to be there on Balochistan. It is going to be very, very unreal, very unrealistic to expect China to support the demands for the Balochistan independence. Gwadar is a lifeline to the Arab Sea. Therefore, India has to basically now create a momentum for the Balochistan. And that momentum is to be created not by anything else, but basically articulating or giving space to what Balochistan aspirations are. And then we'll see how it goes from there, really. Because the fact is that Balochistan cannot be kept under control only by kidnapping people, making them disappear, unwanted killings. That can't keep Balochistan under control forever. Things are going to change.
Absolutely right. So well said. Well, Mr. Ahmed Mustakhan is with us again. Ahmed Mustakhan, I hope you can hear me now, sir. And I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's such a pleasure to have you once again. The last time we spoke, whatever we spoke about, it became global headlines. So we are here once again. I want to ask you, all these extrajudicial killings and these disappearances that have taken place in Balochistan in the last few days, how are they further intensifying, you know, the Baluchi brothers from, you know, getting more confidence and more motivated to free themselves of the clutches of greedy Pakistan?
Yes, sir. I'm very happy to inform you that thousands, tens of thousands of our youth have joined the freedom fighter organizations, the Baluch Liberation Army and the Baluch Liberation Front. So this is beyond my own expectation. And our youths are all headed towards that direction, to go and join and defend their motherland, to defend their sisters who have been abducted by the Pakistan's Hitlerite military. I am going to please request you 2 or 3 things. One, these Punjabi jihadis have forever been calling Kashmir Indian occupied Kashmir, Indian occupied Kashmir. Does this Kashmir belong to your daddies? How can they call Kashmir Indian occupied? And I am kind of surprised. Why is your government, why are your leaders shy in calling Balochistan Pakistan occupied Balochistan? Can you kindly do this simple thing? It doesn't cost you a dime. Please do it. And then our leader, Dr. Allah Nazar, the other day, he requested, kindly give us the 93,000 guns that these cowardly soldiers have surrendered in Dhaka. Just give us those. Add 10 additional bullets, and we are going to deal with these generals on our own terms. You see, there have been some slogans in Sindh province actually yesterday. They said, okay, well, you can down at all the Brahmos, but you cannot postpone the movie from being screened. You know, the movie that our Honorable Rajnath Singh has spoken about. So we are very keenly waiting for the movie to start, and not only just to watch it, but to play maybe a side hero role in it. You see, just now, one of the Pakistani journalists, he said that they are selling their public Hudu Khata. You know, all that lies, the Punjabi lies. And this is very dangerous. because they have built up these lies that Pakistan has won. This nonsensical lie, and many in Punjab are believing that. And this means that this general, this fundamentalist, crazy general, the craziest in Pakistan's history, he's been kind of on his own territory being successful in conveying the impression that he is from a superior culture and a superior ideology. I will believe what Sri Narendra Modi said the other day, कि घर में घुस के मारेंगे. I hope this is not just some vague thing, but a real thing. And we are ready to go and घर में घुस के इनको मारेंगे, because this is a limit to everything. There's a limit to their atrocities. There's a limit to their barbarism. You guys are tired of it. You see, I can tell you one thing.
Right,
you
sir.
guys you want to progress in the world, right? But when this crook is over here, who's this guy being supported from? Why do you have to listen to President McDonald Burger? This President McDonald Burger should have no say. Why should he be asking you what to do or not do?
Absolutely,
we
sir.
Indian people, Baloch people, Afghans, we can take care of our own destiny.
Absolutely,
Thank
sir.
you.
I completely concur with you. Though we have run out of time, Dr. Datta, you wanted to add in for a couple of seconds. We have completely run out of time, sir. Please.
Yeah, in fact, I was listening to my friend from Balochistan that why not address Balochistan as Pakistan occupied Balochistan. My dear friend, I move one step ahead and I say Republic of Balochistan.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Datta, for that. We have some breaking news to talk about now. Well, according to a report released by the Baluchistan Post, 2 young men have reportedly been forcibly disappeared in separate incidents in Quetta, while a prominent lawyer was detained in Mastung. Protest rallies have been held across Baluchistan in response to a surge in enforced disappearances. Family members have said that Muhammad Yahya was taken from his home in Killi Shah Nawaz on the 17th of May by personnel from the Counter-Terrorism Department. His whereabouts remain unknown in a separate case. Bashir Mari was allegedly detained by intelligence officials from his residence in Hazarganji on the 15th of May. He was taken to an undisclosed location and his whereabouts remain unknown is what we are learning at this point in time. Mr. Mustakhan, we have a paucity of time, sir. Would you like to comment on this? I would also like to draw to your attention to the fact that in April, Asim Munir, the jihadi general called Asim Munir, called all the Baluchi freedom fighters as terrorists and said that the Pakistani army will defeat them. How do you respond to him? You can send him a direct message today, sir.
Well, they are the biggest terrorists. Who doesn't know it? Everyone in India, your 1.4 billion people in India know who are the terrorists. The Afghans know who are the terrorists. We Baloch know who are the terrorists. Who doesn't know that the army spokesperson, Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry's father, Sultan Bashiruddin Mahmud, was trying to give Osama bin Laden a dirty bomb. And they are trying to blackmail India that they have the nuclear bomb and they are going to drop on it. When their airfields are destroyed, I am so happy most of their airfields have been destroyed. All of their, you see, the vehicles of delivery should first be destroyed and then we ghus ke marenge inko. I will hope this will come true. My salutes to everyone in India. They are our brothers and sisters. And as they said, Arjun, jang ka samay aa gaya hai, yudh ka samay aa gaya hai. Thank you, sir.
Very well, sir. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate your valor and your courage, and we will continue to have these conversations with you time and again. Thank you so much. Dr. Datta, appreciate you being here in the studio. We take a short break. Be right back.